This is the Garmin Delta XC. There are two variants of this collar, but I will only cover the Delta XC, not the Delta XC Sport in this video. Everything that is included in the package is laid out before you, and I will take you through the steps of assembling your charging unit, putting your collar together, pairing your collar, changing your modes, going through the operation of the receiver and transmitter. So included in your package is obviously the owner's manual, the lanyard, contact point wrench, additional contact points, the receiver or dog device, the transmitter or handheld. You have your charging plug, your country plug, splitter cable, USB cable, charging clip or docking station, and your biothane strap. Those are all the items that are included inside of the device. The first thing you have to do is assemble your charging unit and charge the device before you use it. To do that, you'll take your charging base or plug and slide your country plug in. If you ever go to Europe or anywhere else, you can remove this by simply pressing the button, removing it and changing it to the country code where you are living or visiting. The USB cord has the standard USB on one side, mini USB on the other. It simply plugs in. Then your small end to the mini USB will plug into your splitter cable. Make sure it's pressed in all the way. The docking station then goes to one end of the splitter cord. There's your plug on the right side, plugs right in. Again, make sure it's pressed in all the way. To recharge the device, the receiver has two gold color plates. The docking station has two gold colored pins. It has two male studs, and one male stud on the bottom, two female receivers, one female receiver on the bottom. It snaps in from top to bottom. To remove it, you simply press with the thumb bar and pop it off. Do not unplug it, as this clip will stay on the device, and as your dog runs around, this will fall off and you will lose it. So always use the thumb bar and remove it this way. Pretty simple. The transmitter or handheld has a small rubber flap on the back, mini USB port, plugs right in. When it's plugged in, a battery symbol will flash. When the battery symbol stops flashing, the device is fully charged. The receiver has only a couple of functions. The first function is to turn it on and off. So you have your probes or contact points. Between them, there is a rubber plug. You'll press and hold that rubber plug until you hear two beeps, and then you will release. Every 4 to 5 seconds, you're going to see a double flash of a color, green, orange, or red. Green basically means the device is charged from 60 to 100% full. Orange means it is somewhere between 20 and 60%. Red means it is below 20%. If it is orange, you still have a couple hours of use, but you need to get it on a charger relatively soon. To shut the device off, you'll press and hold the rubber plug until you hear one beep, and then you'll let the device go, or you'll take your finger off the plug. Again, 2 beeps is on, 1 beep is off. Your contact points are interchangeable. You have a contact point wrench, it slides on, unscrews to the left, and you can put the alternate size contact point on. It will come standard with the short points attached. Based on your dog's coat length, you can see the difference between the long and the short point. The short point is less than a half of an inch, somewhere around the 3/8 mark. The long point is somewhere between 5/8 and 3/4. So it's obviously beneficial to you to use the longer points if your dog has longer hair. But if you have a Vizsla, the small contact points are perfect because of their smooth coat. Tighten it down, don't torque it too hard, you don't want to strip it. And that's the device itself. Again, you've got your 2 contact points, your power button on and off, and your window. As you put this on the dog, Garmin will always face you. So that way you will always be able to see the light to determine whether it is on, number one, and two, what is the status of the battery. Is it green? We continue to use it. Is it orange? We need to charge it within a couple of hours. Or is it red? We need to put on the charger and leave it there for some time. When you plug the device in, it will appear that it turns off, but it does not. As soon as you unplug it from the charging unit, it will turn right back on if you fail to turn it off. So before you put on the charging unit, shut your device off. Again, one beep is off. Your transmitter is where the majority of your options are. So you'll have 5 buttons on the outer perimeter, 2 on the left, 3 on the right. Then you'll have 3 buttons down the middle. Starting on the left-hand side of the transmitter, you'll have a circle with a line through it. That's your international symbol for power. That turns the device on. So when I press that, the screen will turn on. And once the screen turns on, it's going to give me 4 pieces of information. In the center, it will give me the stimulation level number. Below that, it will have 3 letters which represent the functions of these buttons: VCM, TVM, or TCM. To the right of the stimulation number, it will have a battery symbol that will have 1, 2, or 3 blocks to it. 3 blocks is green, 2 blocks is orange, 1 block is red. Above the stimulation number is what dog you are selected on. This unit can control up to 3 dogs. Currently, I have this locked in single dog mode. To unlock single dog mode and add a second or third receiver, I would use this button, which I'll cover momentarily. On the bottom left, below the power button, is your mode switch. If I tap the mode switch, you may be able to recognize that the letters are alternating from VCM to TVM to TCM. And what that means is right now in VCM, the top button is vibration. The middle button is continuous. The bottom button is momentary stimulation. I tap it again. It is now the top button tone. The middle button is vibration. The bottom button is momentary stimulation. I tap it a third time. The top button is tone. The middle button is continuous stimulation. The bottom button is momentary stimulation. That is the configuration that I will send your dog home with to use. So if you are looking at the screen and you see a V anywhere, you are in a mode that I have not trained your dog in. TCM, tone, continuous, momentary, is the mode that you need to select in order to work with your dog properly the way that I have trained him. On the bottom right is your dog selector. So right now it is locked in single dog mode. If I press and hold that, it will then blink, and now I can toggle between blue and black, meaning dog 1 and dog 2. Dog 1 is always black, dog 2 will be blue. If I press and hold that again, it'll flash again. Now I can toggle between dog black, or dog 1, and dog 2, or dog 3, which is on red. If I press and hold it a third time, it'll flash a third time, and now I can toggle between black, blue, and red accordingly. And the unique feature about this is I can preset a level for each dog as I am toggling through. So if dog 1 is very sensitive, works somewhere between a 1 and a 4, I can preset that. If dog 2 on blue is not so sensitive, I may be able to put that to an 8 to a 10. And dog 3 is very, very insensitive. I can program that dog on a 12 or 13, whatever is required. And as I toggle back and forth, I don't have to automatically switch levels as you might on some collars that have rheostats. It's an advantage in some cases. It can slow you down in others. It just, you have to know which dog you're working and what their requirements are, but it gives you a reference point to begin as you start working with your dog. On the top right, you'll have 2 more buttons. They are your up and down arrow for stimulation. So if I click the up arrow once, you'll notice that the numbers change 1 level at a time. If I click the down button, again, 1 level at a time, I can adjust it as such. If I press and hold the up arrow, the rapid rise feature will kick in. allowing me to go from the lowest setting to the highest setting in just a couple of seconds. If I go one click at a time from 1 to 18, it may take me about 9 seconds to get there, 8 seconds. If I use the rapid rise feature, you can see that it climbs up there very quickly. So in an emergency situation, you'll be able to go to a level that your dog will always recognize even under distraction. The same is true on the descending feature. So if I can increase it very quickly, I can also decrease it very quickly. The unit is completely waterproof, as is the receiver. Both of the devices are rated to IPX7 standard, which is 1 atom of depth, fresh or salt water. So you won't have to worry about whether it's a pool, whether it's fresh or salt water, whether you're at the lake, freshwater, brackish water, salt water, or if you're at the ocean. The unit has a half-mile range, and it's a pretty reliable half-mile. The antenna is fixed. The outer coating is all rubber. So even if your hands are sweaty, if you decide to jog with your dog, if it's raining, the grippy surface is good wet or dry. And it fits very nicely in the palm of your hand. It is designed to be used by right-handed people, and during the send home lesson, I will go over how to adjust it, how to hold it based on your hand size. If your hands are large like mine, then you may turn it to the side, place your fingers here, and your thumb will adjust the level. If your hands are a little bit smaller, your thumb can do everything, adjust the levels and apply stimulation. It's designed for right-handed operation, very easy to use. To turn the device off, we're going to press and hold the power button for about 3 seconds. The screen will shut off. The device is now off. Those are the basic features of the Garmin Delta as it comes out of the box. Now, to pair the unit, you have to turn the device on. So I'm going to turn on the transmitter. It has to be on a level selected 1 through 18, any of those levels. The receiver must be turned on. So we heard the 2 beeps. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the receiver off. At the same time, I'm going to press the continuous button for about 4 seconds once I hear the beep. Once I hear it beep again, the 2 items are now married together or linked. So if I turn it back on, I press the tone button, I should hear the tone generate. If for any reason it doesn't work, again, I'm going to go back to the process. I'm going to press and hold the power button to shut the receiver off, but I will not take my finger off. I'm going to continue to depress. I'm going to press the continuous button on the transmitter for about 4 seconds. I'll hear the beep, I turn the receiver back on, press the tone button, and now they're linked again. I'm going to shut the receiver off, shut the transmitter off, and that is the Garmin Delta XC basic feature outline.